Hey, welcome to another edition of the AK Option Trader. I am the AK Option Trader. We're going to jump right into it tonight. It's late. I got a really late start. Had a big birthday party to go to tonight. Had a great time. But now I got to get this stuff on the record for y'all. So let's jump right into it here and see what we got going on. Let's start with the VIX. VIX has been acting real wacky. Still wanting to maintain its height. Here's the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. You can see, look at this big, huge stinking white candle, which I had compared on the blog to this here. And then we had the black one coming into it, dark cloud cover, and then a drop, and then a rally from there. We had the drop, similar candle, except this one had the high wick on top, this one had tail on the bottom, and then went sideways, sideways, sideways. We broke out of this triangle here, which is a loose triangle, not the best triangle, but it's okay, with a doji star. I mean, look at that thing. So this looks like a reversal. Looks like this should bounce back up, but who knows? The VIX has been acting so wacky lately. I can't tell you, but it looks to me like we broke out with not a solid breakout, and I think this is going to reverse tomorrow. That's my thought. Let's look at the NASDAQ, just because the NASDAQ has been showing a lot of strength. You can see this channel, it's kind of been channeling up. It broke through our channel down here, but it hit some pretty strong support, which this 1597 bounced right up, broke through some strong resistance. I mean, and it broke through convincingly. There isn't a lot of resistance up here. I would say the next resistance is about 1700, right in that area. And then we're looking all the way up to the fib line, which is 1784. So there's not a lot, which it doesn't mean it can't turn around in there. I'm just saying there's just not a lot. It's real mucky in here. You can see all the goo in here. That I could see it playing around in here like this quite a bit, going sideways. But it has been in a pretty strong uptrend. I don't know if it'll continue. I'm thinking we're going to see a lot of sideways movements coming into summer. That also causes there's less traders. It's going to cause a lot more volatility. A lot less up and down. Now the Dow, on the other hand, looks a lot clearer to me. Got a pretty good downtrend we just created here. I mean, third time touching it. So this is pretty strong. We got a pretty good turn here. It's not as straight up as the other ones. Got a pretty good turn. Other than Friday, we had pretty good down volume. I mean, it was declining volume. That was clear as a bell. So with every day, the volume declined, and you can see we had nothing. I mean, that was as sideways as you could be. Pretty strong up day on Friday, touched our downtrend line and retraced from it. I think we're gonna have a hard time breaking this. We got a couple real strong supports right underneath it, but they're not really, causing bounces. They're just there as magnets, more or less. So I don't know. I'm thinking we're gonna have a hard time breaking this trend line. Once we close above it, I will probably change my tone, and we'll probably move this uptrend line out here for a secondary trend line. But let's see what happens. Let's see if this serves, like I think it will, as pretty good resistance. And finally the S&P. This is the one I thought looked kind of like a bear flag here. You can see right about here, I thought, boy, this looks like a bear flag. I thought we'd have a breakout down to the bottom here. We didn't. We bounced up, hit the top, come back down, didn't hit the bottom, back up, back down. Now we're finding resistance at this midline again, the 50 line. We did break above on this one, the downtrend line on this one here. So this would be a little bit bullish right now, but we do have a fib line coming up here. But I think the most important thing I want to show you, when I cleaned it, you can see the charts are different. I cleaned them up a little bit, and I wanted to show you guys a couple things here. All right. This has kind of struck my eye today. This here is the ES minis, the S&P minis. All right. You can see right here, this is clear. Let's go back out here. This here line right here, let's do it about right here. This is clear resistance hit. Okay, coming up 1, 2, 3, 4 with a great reversal here down. That caused our big down. 5 coming close to 6, and that's where we're at right now. This is pretty solid resistance right here. It is very, very hard for us to break through. It caused our last great fall. And we're testing it, getting close to it and getting close to it. We have not been able to break it. So I would keep an eye on this 870 right here, 871. If we do ever close above this, I'd have to change to a bullish tone. Right now, until we stay beneath it, I think I'm going to keep bearish. I mean, it is serving as strong resistance. So it's that simple. To me, it's that simple on the ES. And the ES usually follow the fibs a lot better, and you can see they line up pretty darn good on here. So they're good use of the fibs on here, and I don't know if it's a self-fulfilling prophecy or what, but they seem to work pretty good. So keep an eye on this 870 on here. You know, I watch it every day. Right now it's down almost 2%, 1.7% when at the time of this writing, or this recording. You can see if we pull back and look at the NASDAQ on this down here, it broke through pretty easy. After the third time, came down and popped back up. So we could do that on ESs. We could hit, drop down, and then pop back up and blow through it. We got another big one coming up at 1389 right here. So another big one at 1389. So anyway, just keep an eye on these. Those are ones we're going to keep an eye on to see what happens with them, and they will help us with our trades coming in the future and the way we're going to trade. So let's go on to some stocks now. All right, CAT, Caterpillar. This is a bullish play for me. We did fill this gap, which kind of worried me a little bit. I thought maybe this gap would offer resistance. We seem to be wanting to go through it, so let's keep an eye on it. Pretty strong volume these 2 days right here. Both white candles, although we did have pretty good sell-off here. But we seem to want to stay on this trend line. We closed above the 50 fib. We closed above this window here, or gap as I like to call it. So I would look for us to maybe keep on going up this trend line. So this could be a possible up play. Keep an eye on this one. That's CAT, Caterpillar. This is probably my short play trade of the week, the one I'm going to probably try to short. I really like the way this chart looks. AFL, AFLAC. This is it right here. I love this. I love this chart. I love the way it traces on the fibs. I just love the way it looks. I mean, look at this bad boy coming up, down, up. I'm thinking we're going to bounce down off this. Now, we may stop here. We may stop here and then try to test it again. That wouldn't surprise me at all. Or we could stop here and fall. So anyway, I'm going to be looking for a drop down to this 23 area, or 23.94, 24 area, let's call it. That's a pretty good drop, about $4 drop. I think that's playable. The only thing I'd be worried about is you got earnings coming up, and it usually gaps up, and it's May earnings. So keep an eye out for that. And you may want to wait, and maybe you might get a day or two in, but I'd close your trade before the earnings, because a lot of times it'll gap up. If it does gap up to here, man, I think that'd be a great short play. Anyway, so that's probably my trade of the week, the AFL. But like I said, watch out for that gap up there. All right. Oh, wrong one. BRCD. Brid. I didn't even know that was a stock. BRCD is Broadcom. Or Brocade, pardon me. Brocade Communications. This one here is another bullish play. You can see it broke above our downtrend line, and it served as a pretty good trend line. Had to retest it 2 times. Came up. Now we've got 2 support lines going up here. Look at this bad boy here and this bad boy here. So we got 2. So even if it breaks this, it could hit this and go up this one, which would actually be preferable because it'd be a lot less steep. Steeper trend lines tend to break a lot easier. So if we do break this, I'd look for support here. So this could be a pretty bullish one. It's only a $5.40 stock. It could be worth a shot on that bad boy. FSYS is the next one I want to show you. Fuel system solution. This one here, same thing as AFLAC. I'd play this all the way up to this line here, and then I'd probably look to go short on it. It's going to form its own triangle doing this if it goes up this trend line, and it's got a strong resistance right here. So I'd play this up and then maybe go short on it, huh? There you go, 2 for 1 right there. M is the next one. This is very similar to AFLAC. If I went out on these charts, which I meant to do before, you would see, look at this. Look at this beauty. That's Macy's. Same thing as AFLAC. Let me put AFL back up there for you real quick, just so you can see what I was talking about. Right here, boom. Look at that bad boy. Beauty. So M, Macy's. That's another one. Same type of play as AFLAC. TEL, TEL. Same thing. Look at this. Look at this. This is beautiful. I'd play it all the way up to here, and then I'd look to be getting short. And if the market turns over, guess what? It's going to turn over earlier. So it may not make it up to that line. It may turn before there. So that's something to keep an eye on. All these have earnings coming out or just came out. So I want you to keep that in mind when you're trading these. Finally, let's finish up today. It's this beautiful wedge. It's probably one of the prettiest wedges I've seen in a while. Look at this thing. Look at this thing coming down. Look at how flat it got here. And if I zoom in even more, you can see it even better. Look at this. This is just a beautiful wedge here. So anyway, I'd just look for a breakout. I'm not going to tell you which side. I mean, if we go back here, you know, it could go either way. But I don't know. I'm thinking down, but it could go either way. So anyway, CRESY, that's the stock. All right, I know I went fast. Had a late night, had a lot going on. Again, I want to show you one more thing real quick before we get out of here. This is SPY. You know, I like the SPY. I play the SPY a lot. I couldn't do a good graphic for this, but I'm thinking this looks like a rounded top to me. You know, we got an increasing volume. and I use the circle to show you. If I'm right, we're going to come down, up, down, up, down, up, form this rounded top, and it could come up like this, and we could be start heading down, you know, somewhere around here. So that's June. So maybe June or July start heading down. So it could be really tough, which would not surprise me. Summer months are tough anyway. There's less volume. The market's choppy. It's really hard to trade. So anyway, I hope that helps you guys a lot. I hope you get some good trades out of it. My AFL, my trade of the week, I think that's going to be a good short play, and I hope it works for all of you. So this will be the AK Option Trader signing out. Great trading to you all.